Unsubscribe.
What's unsubscribe?
Unsubscribe is...
Unsubscribe.
What is unsubscribe?
Unsubscribe. It's just...
Right, unsubscribe.
It's
I guess it means that. That is easy. Let me tell you about unsubscribe.
Good evening, guys. Good evening. My name is Joel, and you are tuned in to episode 1 of Unsubscribe. Can we get a cheer from the studio? Come on. So look, we're glad that you joined us. I can see that there's already a number of you who have signed in to watch live. So look, whether you're watching with us live now, whether you're watching at a later date, we just want to say a big thank you for joining us, supporting us, and we just pray that you're going to be blessed, encouraged, and just have enjoyment from this program. Hopefully we're going to hook you in from the first episode, and if you are a fan of it from episode number 1, make sure you keep tuning in and tell a friend to tell a friend. So we've got a lot to get through today, but before we do get into it, a little public service announcement. In light of the government guidelines that have recently just come out, we just want to make it clear sort of the setup of how we're doing things here. So the Unsubscribe team, there's 6 of us. We've checked that we can still do the show the way that we're doing it and everything is okay, but we just wanted to make that clear because I know a lot of times when you're seeing things on camera, it's not always clear how things are being done behind the scenes, but we're doing it as safe as we can, as best as we can. We've got the anti-bac, the sanitizer and everything, so we're going to be keeping as safe as possible. Right, now that's out of the way, let's get into it. You've probably seen some of the promo that's been going around this week, whether that's been Insta and Facebook, Pastors Ian and Rachel, some friends sharing it. And the question that's probably on a lot of people's minds is, what is unsubscribe? Well, we're going to answer that question for you today. And to help me answer that question, let's introduce some of the team now.
Something interesting about me is I love to solo travel. That is my absolute favorite thing to do, and I know that's terrifying for some people, but I love it.
I think I like to think of myself as the 21st century Sherlock Holmes. I always work out any plot hole or any plot of any movie and TVs, and I always know who the murderer is before the end of the movie, so yeah.
I can tell you 2 interesting things about me. 1, I'm allergic to Christmas trees. 2, my eyes change colour. True stories.
Not conforming. That's what I would say. Unsubscribe means I'm not going to go in a way that everyone else is going. It's like, have you ever seen a picture of like the fish that's swimming the opposite way to the rest of the shore? That's what unsubscribe means to me, and it's almost describes the Christian walk, because we're meant to be in the world, but not of it.
Unsubscribe means to me taking yourself out of what you think is the norm of this world and just looking at it from the outside and thinking, why are certain things the way they are? Can there be a different way? What is the best way to really live my life and navigate my journey?
Unsubscribe to me means that we're trying to unsubscribe from religion and go back to the core of the faith.
It's a chance to really actually discuss a lot of the real nitty-gritty topics within Christianity, whether it's things that we all know but we don't talk about, or even some of the things that we live but we don't really ever question why we live it, or bits and pieces. So I think it's important as a way to really just expand discussion on the faith.
It's important because we want to cover and talk about things that we all experience, but we might not have a platform where we can share these things or talk about them with people that share the same ideas.
I think that there is a lot of content out there. some of it is positive, but not much of it is. And I feel like we need to contribute to the narrative that has been spoken. I don't think that there's enough people that have got the wisdom of God to be able to share. So I feel like this is important because the world is kind of going on the social media aspect, and I feel like as Christians we also shouldn't be afraid to be involved in social media. So yeah.
I think they can expect anyone that comes on camera to be genuine, and you can expect to have heart-to-heart conversations. You can expect to have maybe some hot topics that we don't talk about in church, things that are about our everyday life, maybe deeper things as well.
People can expect good energy, good vibes, and real conversation about the faith.
I would love that people can switch this program on a Wednesday night. Maybe they've had a tough day at work or whatever the case may be, but they can switch this program on and see people that are just going to be really a positive sort of energy, and not energy, but like some positive influence.
So this program's for anyone, but I'll say particularly anyone that's curious about the faith of Christianity. Whether you are a Christian that has questions about topics within it, or even if you're not a Christian but you just want to know more about how Christians live their life.
Anyone that's curious to know more about the faith, anyone that's curious to know more about any topic we're going to talk about. I think it's just, there's no age, there's no race, there's no nationality, it's just literally for everyone.
Miss Mantiziba, Mrs. J. Solomon, welcome.
Mrs.
Welcome.
J. Solomon.
Pleasure.
Social distancing and that.
Pleasure. Leave me hanging.
We're the same household.
So look, these are the first two members of our team, Canel.
Hey everybody, good evening.
Canel and Tanya did has it
We're
off to a great
Tanya.
start already. But let me start with you, Tanya. Tell the people a bit about yourself, why you're in Ashford. Have you been in Ashford for long? For those of you out there that don't know you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just moved back from Ashford. As Joel said, my name is Tanya. I was living out in London for like about 5 years. Forget the time, but yeah, about 5 years. Just moved back home with my mom and dad. Hi, Mom. I'm on TV. But yeah, sorry.
So she's back. She's back, people.
Sorry, yeah.
And Canel, what brought you to Ashford?
Well, so I'm from France, and then I met this gentleman over here, and he made me come here. No, well, I willingly came here. He didn't force me, but yes, I've been here about almost 4 years now,
Yeah.
and been attending ACF and then Bright City Church since then.
Come on.
Love it.
So we heard some interesting facts about both you in the video, but Canel's been kind of grilling me since she's seen the edit of the video because she's not too happy with her interesting facts. So maybe do you want to explain why you're not happy with your interesting facts, and maybe you can upgrade what's interesting about you.
Sherlock
for the people out there.
Holmes.
Okay, but it is true. You can confirm. I always saw the mysteries
It's
whenever
true.
series or movies. So I didn't lie. I just took myself way too seriously in the video. But another interesting fact that's kind of more interesting is I actually haven't put an alarm clock for almost 5 years, so over 4
Wow.
years now.
Wow. So how do you wake
Vouch
up?
for that.
Do you wake up with the sun or like?
No. Well, I actually, every evening before I sleep, I actually ask God to wake me up at a specific time every morning.
Wow.
And He's been doing so every morning, basically, since March 2016.
Can you
And
confirm that?
I can confirm, and it's mad. It's not even like Canel gets up every day at 7 a.m, so I just put it down to the body clock. Like sometimes we've had airport runs, we've got to be up at 4 a.m.
Oh wow.
Sometimes it's been like 5 a.m, 6 a.m, whatever time it is.
That's
She
crazy.
seems to get up.
Even for work, I have to wake up at different times, and I always was it. Even when Joel has to put an alarm, I would wake up like a few seconds before, and I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't wake up with the alarm clock.
Well, I'm gonna try that, guys. I'm gonna try it. If I don't wake up, I'm blaming Canel.
Yeah, I mean, God forgive me, I don't think I've got the faith for that yet.
You
but
need real
Yeah,
faith.
you need the faith. You can't
Yeah.
put a backup alarm clock because then it means you're not trusting God or anything.
That's
So you've
cool.
got to put all your trust in it,
Wow.
and then it works. I
Faith
mean,
in action. I like it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so Tanya, you were mentioning that you love to travel
Yes.
solo.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I know recently you've been on like a really cool trip to Brazil. So tell us a bit more about that. Like, why did you go out there? What was it you were doing?
Yeah, I tell people that I'm Brazilian and people believe me, so that's what I'm going for. But now, I've always loved Brazil. I think that I've traveled twice. The first time I went to this amazing organization called Shores of Grace. They do amazing things. Check them out, because honestly, they are just the best. So when I went out that time, it was to do with working with young girls and also people that are based in the streets. It was just a great ministry, and I definitely have a heart for that. And then I went back last year, and that was more of like a trip out, just a solo trip out, which is so fun. Yeah.
And where's next on the agenda?
Where is
Obviously,
it?
as and when we can travel again.
Yeah, that's the
Where
thing,
would it be?
isn't it? Yeah, provided, everything sorts out with COVID. I would say the next place I want to go to is Cape Verde. That's the next place.
Nice.
I would never think to go there, but I love Portuguese and I've been learning how to speak it. So
so
yeah.
every country that speaks Portuguese.
Every
There's
Portuguese
not many.
speaking. Yeah, I know. And I've already been to Portugal, but yeah, I'm definitely looking to go to Cape Verde.
Cool. So any of the Portuguese speaking listeners out there,
Holla
hit us
at
up in the
me.
comments. Tanya will translate with perfection.
Yeah. So
Right. So unsubscribe the program. We've obviously been sort of planning this for the last. It's only been a few weeks really since we got the call from the big man, Pastor Ian, to say, can we start up this program? And I guess what a lot of people are going to want to know is what is unsubscribe, and we're all going to sort of share on it and expand on it more. But who better to start with than you two lovely ladies? So, Canel, if I put it to you first, what is unsubscribe?
Subscribe is a lot of things. I think it's quite a broad name,
Yeah, it is.
and I think it means some things very specific to each of us. So to me, it means that it's about unsubscribing to religion, as in the things that are just religious and not really what the actual core of the faith is. And I feel like a lot of time we do things because of culture or because we just don't know anything else. Like, I personally grew up in the church, so there's lots of things that I'm like, well, I don't know, I've never questioned it because that's always been the case. Or I've always heard that word or that phrase, or I've always done things a certain way because people have done it before me. But actually, is it just a case of culture and because society, and we've kind of been influenced by society, or our churches are a certain way and they all have a different style, or is it something more than just a culture? So it's not about just forgetting everything, but more like unsubscribing to something just for the sake of it, and kind of really asking the right questions of why do I actually do the things I do, why do I believe the things I believe in, and all these things that are not like, I'm not talking about is Jesus the Saviour, because that's just like
fundamental. That's,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about fundamental things, but all the things around that we do, and it's more about kind of questioning ourselves on the reasons why we do certain things.
Getting back to the root of why we do things.
Exactly.
I like that. And I think for me that's the same sort of meaning of unsubscribe, sort of going back and questioning why I do things, like Canel says. But also for me, it's also going against the grain, like the world is going a certain kind of way, and I feel like, this program is sort of to be that difference. There's so many people like, subscribe to this, do that. It's like, no, let's go the opposite way, because, the Bible talks about, narrow is the way. And you know what I mean? So that's the kind of the feeling I have about unsubscribe.
Yeah, 100%. And we've had a lot of talks amongst ourselves where we realise that actually so many of us have these kind of conversations and whatnot in private, but maybe it's not obviously out there in a public setting a lot of the time. And it's kind of good, I think, to have the platform now to be able to share it.
And we all have different opinions. The thing is, like, questioning yourself doesn't mean that your opinion is wrong, and doesn't mean that what you've been doing was wrong all along. It might be, but it might also just be like you just never thought about it, and then just hear everyone else think, and yourself learn how to dig deeper.
Dig deeper.
So, real quickly, and I'll start with you this time, Tanya. What sort of topics can people be expecting
Cool. I
from
like
the show, particularly ones that you're passionate about?
Yeah, I definitely say I'm passionate about relationships, singleness specifically, and I'd also love to cover purpose, what people want to do, what they feel they're called to do. That's what I want to talk about. Yeah.
Nice. And then same for you.
Yeah, so there's quite a lot of different topics. I'm like a passionate person, so there's kind of no middle ground with me. But some
Even
of
in
the
arguments, trust me. I'm joking.
that was just a joke. Anyway, so there's things like finances, and I feel like I really want to talk about topics that I don't really hear talked about in church, but that we might talk about in smaller settings, but just they're not like, they're like a bit too, they're not mainstream, or they're mainstream.
Yeah.
I never know how to use that word. But yeah, so finances, things like environment, and I'm really passionate about all things environment.
Yeah, she is.
And
She is.
how
That's going to be an interesting one.
I'd love to hear
yeah,
more
like
about
how
that.
as Christians we should be stewards of earth. I mean, that's like the very first commandment, but I'm just gonna hold on my mouth for the actual day I'm
More to
talking about.
come. Watch this space.
Well,
But yeah,
look.
there's loads, like, yeah, so many things we can, marriage and just everything really that is life can be a topic.
Perfect.
I like that.
Well, like I said earlier, we've got a lot that we're going to get through today, and this is only half the team that you're seeing here. So, without further ado, let's meet the next member of the team.
If I could describe myself in 3 words, they would be quirky, alternative, odd. I want to travel the world. My dream vacation, when I think about a holiday, I'd like to go to Bali. I want to go to those waterfall caves and just feel the sun on my hands and rest them on my face like a radiator. Unsubscribe is open and honest conversation centered and rooted in Christ. I think we have so many daily conversations, just generally speaking. We go through so many things that are similar, the same, and also so different at the same time. So I think that's why it's important, because we need to talk about it. The programme is for anyone and everyone. There's no age limit, there's no gender, there's no anything. It just be present, listen. If I could live off one meal for the rest of my life, it would be bread and manna and honey and milk from heaven. No, I'm joking.
Welcome, Jade. Can I get a whoop whoop? Come on. Hello, Jade. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people then?
Wagwan people. Hello. Hi, I'm Jade, I'm 30, and I'm brand new, kind of,
Yeah.
back to Bright City Church.
Love it. Isn't Jade looking wonderful in her cave?
She came for the fashion show.
I mean, me and I were like,
We didn't get the memo.
No, I didn't. This is courtesy of Atalia James
shout out.
Designs.
Wow. I'm gonna have to holler at Italia.
Please do.
Wow, you look good.
Thank you
How
very
you
much.
feeling? How you doing?
Yeah, do you know what? It's so good that I was nervous and now I'm not. I'm just here.
Yeah.
And we thank God.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. I was just thinking about the journey of us getting here. We were talking with Joel about how, like, this has only been 3 weeks and so much has happened. And I knew Jade before from years ago, but I feel like we're just reconnecting and it's
100%.
just beautiful. So grateful to God.
Yeah, it's like 20 years in the making or something like that. And
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And then even knowing you for
Yeah, I met you when I moved.
Literally when you moved.
Yeah, when I moved.
Yeah.
And
We
you
met
were
at
like,
a
oh, are you
coffee
Joel's
shop.
fiance? And that was it.
Yeah, it's so nice to have just a different variety of people. Like Jade was saying, was it quirky and alternative? What is it?
I've never heard someone describe themselves as alternative.
She really is. Some of the messages Jay comes out with, we're like, huh?
I know.
We love
I
it.
just have so many weird quirks, mannerisms. Like everybody in my whole household knows it, and my friends from a long time know it also.
We love it. What are you gonna bring to the program apart from quirkiness and what have you? What do you feel like you're gonna
alternative, difference? No, I think I'm just gonna bring a sense of uniqueness and realness.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that everybody should strive to be real and very, very unique. So I'm really excited to get on with it.
I like that, and I feel like with you, Jade, you really are like a real person. Like you are a real person, but you bring that.
I'm not
on camera, but
I made that with
She brings a realness that I think everyone is sort of wanting in their life. I feel like this program, this platform is about realness. Just be yourself, innit?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love it. So Jade, what sort of topics, apart from bringing real, what specific topics do you feel like you're gonna bring?
Well, let's get to the specifics then.
Yes, let's
so
get specific.
I'm really, really passionate about the youth, the young people.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about worship and music, so you can expect a couple of things about that. I mean, there was a time when I kind of was a bit wild and a little bit, you know how it goes.
Yeah, I know.
And so just to bring that and talk about where we've come from to where we're going and all of that based in Christ. So I said it on the video, this is just an open forum to be honest and have conversations that are centered in Christ. So,
And honestly, like guys, Christ is the center of this program, of all things that Bright City does. And I think like that's what we want to bring. At the end of the day, we want people to connect with Christ because that's our lifestyle, that's our journey, that's what we're walking through. Don't you feel like? So definitely. And I feel like even with the aspect of the lifestyle, where do you guys think that sort of, what is the meaning of the lifestyle in our, you know how our tag name is lifestyle, faith, what do you think the lifestyle?
Go for it.
I mean, lifestyle is like the way of living, isn't it? And then, like, if Christ is the center of our personal life, then it just reflects in every aspect of our life. So it's just about literally any topic and anything. I think Charlotte said it, and she said, if you're interested into something, well, God must be as well, because He's really passionate about you. So it's just like, anything really.
And if He's placed it right here as well, then you've got to run with that.
And then like the way to live as Christian in a world where it's not really about God, but
I think so, and I feel like navigating that aspect of Christianity is also what I want to bring to the program, because there's questions that are going to come up, there's things that maybe we're going through, discussing things, and just sort of having that openness and that full
transparency.
The transparency is so important. So we look forward to it and stuff like that. And I really also wanted to ask, like, what do you think? Which kind of a person would really like this program? I don't know. Would you?
All right.
Yeah.
So let me be honest, because that's what we're talking about.
That's
here.
what we're doing here.
Everybody has a voice, so therefore everybody has ears and eyes, and then we should all just be. Everybody should be available to listen to this. Everybody needs to be present. It's not one particular person. It's not one gender. It's not one race. It's not one. It's not one anything. So, but there is one thing. That's one people. So if we come as one people, then we should all be willing to receive.
You're preaching. She's preaching. I love it. Nah, she's on fire. Look at her. Nah, I love it. And I think we were talking about how diverse we all are. We're going to bring that sort of diversity. You know, Canel, where are you from?
I'm from Paris.
From Paris?
France, best place
where
in
are
the
you
whole
from?
world.
I'm from Zimbabwe.
Don't know.
I'm from Brazil. I'm going to keep pushing that. You know, and Charlotte and Sam came from Dubai. All of these people with such experiences bringing...
Julie's from Essex.
All the way from Essex, mate. And we're going to be bringing that diversity. So people shouldn't feel like, oh, no, it's not for me, because we're all so different. So you're going to have that sort of diversity. And last but not least, what would you say your biggest lesson has been 2020? Kind of putting you on the spot, but I feel like this is something that
you love this question.
I do.
Every time I see Tanya, she always asks me this question.
It's my thing.
So this is something that my mum said forever, actually, but it's something that I've definitely learned myself is that everything needs to be God willing. We can't make plans like it's just coming. So we you know, like I got married in January, but we got back into the country just before the borders shut. From Jamaica, like just before. But imagine if we'd made plans to do it another time. But God said to us, no, get married in January. And look, I'm a married woman now. Do you know what I mean? So, but
show the ring. Let's see the ring.
Oh, you want to see the ring?
You want to see the ring, honey?
let me just position that.
Pow! Look at that.
No, but on the real, it's like, you know, it's God willing. So it's not like by our strength. It's God willing. At all times.
There's a scripture. I'm gonna really paraphrase. It says, "Man make plans, but the Lord ordains the steps."
That's it.
And that's really what 2020's been about. Look, Jade, we're gonna have so many more conversations. It's been so nice, but I think it's time to meet our next team member. Come through.
Something that people might not know about me is I once walked into a dentist and thought the lady on reception asked me to sing happy birthday to her, and so I sang happy birthday, but that wasn't the case at all. But yeah, that happened, that was real. It basically means, I think, a group of people that are in the world that don't necessarily want to be followers of what's going on all the time. They don't want to be the likes of people on like Instagram and on Facebook. They want to think about how they can actually subscribe or unsubscribe to something else that's going on and move forward. I think this programme is important because it's going to show people what followers of God actually are like. Like, we are normal people, we are down to earth, we've got passion about life, we've got passion about God, and we want to move forward in a way that encompasses and brings everyone together. People can expect something that's a little bit different, and they can expect something that's going to be real as well, that there's going to be a transparency to it, and that there's going to be vulnerability to it as well. Anyone that's interested in what's relevant and what's going on in the world, and that has a godly focus on their life, or is interested in what God could maybe bring to their life and how they can partner with Him. I would describe myself as happy, energetic, and what else would I say? Fun as well, I think. Yeah, a little bit of fun.
Welcome, Charlotte. How are you feeling?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. Yeah,
You
I'm
look
doing really
lovely.
well. Oh, thanks.
What was your description name? You said you were bubbly. I think you said bubbly.
Oh, I think
happy.
I said happy, fun, and
energetic.
or something like that.
That would definitely suit you. You are definitely radiant and joyful every time I'm around. And also, like, I've just kind of met Charlotte in the past 3 weeks. So you honestly such a joy.
Oh,
You
that's
really
really
are.
nice.
Amazing. How are you feeling being on the program?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
super excited, like, to be here with everyone and just to like meet everyone, like, again, after
literally.
like so long, catching up with everyone. Obviously, I haven't known like Joel and Canel for ages, and they're just such amazing people. So yeah, it's really cool. We've been away for 6 years now.
Wow.
So yeah, just got back. We've been back for 5 months, which is really cool. Chloe came back with us, so we went with like just me and Sam. And
Came
we
back
come
with the baby. Yeah.
which is really cool.
You look lovely, honestly.
Thanks.
Like, we're gonna talk more about you, where you went, first of all. But yeah, honestly, it's so great to have you on here. Quick fact, guys. I don't know if you know. Well, you're not gonna know, but I'm gonna tell you, right? So, Charlotte and Sam came up with the name Unsubscribe, and when we were in the meeting, we were like, This is it. This is it. We didn't even need to vote. We were like, this is the name. This is exactly what we are about.
Definitely.
So, would you like to tell the story behind?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
So I think, well, first of all, Sam and I were just chatting. We weren't sure like where we were going with it. We've like come up with names for like ministries and various different pieces before. And then we were just like, well, what's going on at the world at the moment? Like, what's happening? It's all about like Instagram, social media, TikTok. Facebook is keeping in there just a little bit. I mean, we're using it as a platform. Are you?
Yeah. I don't know about the rest of them. But
So we were saying like everyone basically subscribes to what's going on in the world. You know, they're all about, when you put up a post on Insta, they want to see how many likes, how many views, and they want to check out that story. And I think it was just like taking a step back from that and thinking about, you know, what else should we be looking at? And thinking, actually, instead of subscribing to everything, instead of liking everything, why don't we start like questioning stuff that's going on in our world? And that's how we came up with Unsubscribe.
Amazing. Wisdom right there. No, you guys are super talented. Charlotte and Sam have been like really so helpful with the broadcast, and Sam is at the back right there doing stuff, and Charlotte came up with the backdrop, everything, like so talented and stuff. So it's really amazing. I'm sure these are things you picked up when you were away. So
that's
would you like
right.
to
Yeah,
share?
I know. I think so we were a part of a church in Dubai called Gatekeepers, and they are an amazing church, some amazing leaders there, just so many like skilled people, and just blessed people as well. And I think we were just really influenced by this, like the level of excellence that they wanted to go to be able to reach people. And like Dubai's such an attractive city. If you don't stand out, like you kind of just fall through the woodwork of it. So you've got to be doing something a bit different. You've got to be on top of your game. And so I think we probably learned a lot from them actually, in terms of like how we now do stuff. I mean, Sam's amazing at like logos and like production-y bits, all that kind of stuff. So he's really skilled.
You guys are super skilled. It's amazing, and I really wanted to ask you, perhaps someone here is sort of going through that newness. I think we all are actually, to be fair, but how did you navigate or transition from moving from England to Dubai? Because that must have been a difference, like a new transition. How did that...
I think so. We knew that God was on it, like right from the start. So I'd say like we pushed that door. We knew God wanted us to go, and so I think from there it was just like making the right decisions, being intentional. Like we stepped in Dubai. We knew we were obviously going to find a church. We were praying about it. We went and had like a little church shop around, seeing where we felt comfortable, where we felt called to, and we like discovered Gatekeepers, and we always knew that when we were part of a church, we wanted to get involved, we wanted to serve, and we wanted to be part of that like kingdom culture. And so I think that would probably be like my biggest advice. Like join a community, get plugged in, start doing stuff. You'll meet people, you'll build relationships, which is really awesome, and you feel a part of something that's bigger than what you are. There's purpose behind it, which is really cool.
Honestly. Well, honestly, me listening right now, I feel like I'm learning now, honestly. So I'm looking forward to having more discussions. But like, aside from like moving countries or going through a new season, what do you sort of feel like you're going to be sharing on the program?
What am I sharing? I mean, I can't say I've got something like specifically like on my heart, to be honest. But I feel like there's people in the years have like imparted so much into me and have equipped me, I feel like, really well. So I just love investing in others, and so whether that comes across in being able to like share the word or doing something a bit different, then I'm all for that. I'm a new mummy as well, so I just feel like I want to like talk about that too, and how like you balance like the busyness of motherhood and still putting God first, how you raise up a baby and a child in a godly way and a godly focus as well, and that's really important to me. And I think
there's been a bit of conversation as well about like women's talk and that was kind of on your heart as well. Now, I would love to see personally, from my point of view, you talk about success as a woman. Like, in your field, like it's male dominated, and you are doing so.
What is your field? People don't know. What's the field?
So I work in construction. I'm a managing quantity surveyor, basically. So I mean, it's been good. Dubai's been good to me. I've worked on some amazing projects like water parks and King's College Hospital in Dubai, which was awesome, and some Grand Prix tracks, all that kind of stuff. I'm like sports specialised, leisure specialised, so I get some of the good stuff like Fulham Football Stadium, Liverpool Football Stadium.
Incredible.
It's exciting.
Tickets,
Listen to Jade. No, but that's amazing, and I feel like all the experience you have is going to be so good to learn from. And like you said, construction being a male-dominated sort of industry, how do you how you sort of navigate that? It will be such an interesting way to learn about. And actually, Jade touched on a topic that I was going to mention when Canal was on, about sort of navigating womanhood, because there's so much information, so many magazines, so much blogs and what have you, telling women how to be and stuff. So like I would just, in the last sort of section we have, how do you guys navigate being a woman in the 21st century in this day and age? Put it to you, Charlotte, but Jade, you're going to answer as well.
So I think being yourself, partnering with God, looking at a kingdom perspective, and like moving forward with your life, not staying stagnant where you are. embracing yourself, but surrounding yourself with godly women that are focused, that have got an aim, that know where they're going in life, has been like my biggest like success, if that makes sense. The other women around me.
Oh wow, that's good.
So yeah, it's been really cool.
What do you say, Jane?
Yeah, no, I'd agree with Charlotte. No.
Everything she said.
But you know, there's such a thing about restriction. You know, a lot of females particularly feel like we're just completely restricted because everything is so male dominated, blah blah blah. But also just making sure that we're putting across that there are no restrictions, especially no restrictions in Christ. Like, if he wants it for us, then he'll make a way for us, and that's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But also just to say as well that even though we talk about these topics of womenhood, it's not just for women.
Yeah,
like,
of course not.
It's for guys to kind of like step in and listen,
get involved.
Just
of course,
to really listen to what we have to say, and vice versa. We're going to be doing the same thing
for men. I'm going to look forward to
Yeah.
that. Joel and Sam sort of heading up that sort of discussion. It's going to be so amazing. But now, listen, like I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, like I feel like we're going to learn so much. But the last question I want to ask you, Charlotte.
Yeah.
And you know where it's coming.
I know where it's going. Yeah.
She mentioned in the video something about singing Happy Birthday, and I want to find out what's that about.
No, I mean, honestly, like, I feel like I've got so many embarrassing moments, and they just happen to be in my life all the time. But yeah, I mean, one of those times just happened to be, I don't know why I shared that, for crying out loud, I don't know why I shared it, but I did, so it's too late now. So basically, went into a dentist, was signing up for NHS in London, this was before we moved to Dubai, and I honestly thought the lady on reception said, if you can sing Happy Birthday, I'll give you a form. Now, I don't know if I imagined that in my head, right? But that's exactly what I did. Poor Sam is standing next to me, and he's like, what is with this woman? Honestly, I have to deal with her all the time, but now she's like crossing a mark. Wow. So I sang Happy Birthday to this receptionist lady, and I was like, can I have a form now? She gave me the form. We never went back because Sam was so embarrassed.
Well, you got your form. You got your form at the end of the day. So yeah, that's interesting. Well, Charlotte, it's been fun having you, and I think we have another video for someone coming up.
We do.
So I once went to see an X Factor recording, and I wore a Jedward. I don't know if you remember Jedward. I was wearing a Jedward t-shirt, and I was sat just behind the judges, and I was in so many shots on the X Factor. That you can go back all those years and you can see me on the X Factor with my Jedward t-shirt on. Cheesy pasta. I mean, that's pretty much what I survived on at university. My first ever meal at university, when my parents dropped me off, they dropped me off, they took me shopping, they filled the cupboards full of things, but I didn't know how to cook. So my first meal that I ever made myself was Angel Delight, and I sat on my bed when they left, just eating Angel Delight, and that was my dinner. To me, it means taking yourself out of the noise, almost like when you get all those newsletters into your email inbox and you go through them and you just think, oh, it's a load of rubbish, unsubscribe, and you go through and you just clear out your inbox because you just want the information that you want to hear and the information that you know you need. So to me, that's what it is, like removing yourself from the noise. Anyone who wants to listen, we're not particularly going to say it's for one age group, one type of person. It's for anyone who wants to listen. Really, the topics that we're going to be speaking about really will affect everyone at some point in their life. So we're hoping that we're going to cast the net wide and it's relevant for many people. This program's important because it gives a platform for young adults and anyone really who they can come and they can talk about real issues, things that they're facing, and we just want a platform where people can be genuine, can be themselves, and can discuss things that are important to them.
We have Sam! Yeah! He's my favourite, obviously. So if for those of you that don't know, Sam is my husband. We've been married nearly 9 years. No, 10 years.
Yeah.
Nearly 10 years. Okay, nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
I was there at your wedding.
You were there?
I was there.
Yeah.
We've known each other for a really long time.
We have.
Really long
How long
time.
have we known each other for?
I'm going to say
I mean, you guys have known each other
maybe
longer,
since
right?
like 10 years old.
Yeah, so like 20 years and then maybe like
Yeah.
15 years.
Wow.
So we went to church
Yeah.
together, went to school together.
Yeah.
Church band together in
Yeah.
ACF.
Church band
Yes.
together,
Yeah.
yeah, the youth band.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can I just get all
nice.
the silly questions out of the way quickly?
Oh,
Sure.
Because, you know, there's some people asking about Jedward.
Yes. Yeah.
I just really want to know,
Wasn't
Sam.
my proudest moment.
first of all, for the guys and girls that don't know who Jedward are,
Oh, yeah, you
maybe we
millennials.
should elaborate on that a little bit.
Irish twins, X Factor. is that
Yeah,
one?
something like that.
Irish Twins, X Factor, probably the
Terrible. Terrible.
Wait, whoa. Probably the greatest act that the X Factor has seen. And I supported them with my T-shirt on. In fact, when I was queuing outside, Heat magazine came down. You know, Heat magazine. Remember that? Going to London to buy a Heat magazine. Right. So they came down, and I was queuing up, and they said, "Do you want to wear this Jedward T-shirt?"
Right.
And I've been
Oh,
queuing
so
up
you
for
made it.
so
Oh, no.
long to get in. I thought my best chance of getting into this recording and getting a decent seat
We
is-
waited there all day. I
is-
mean, like in the rain. we
is
waited
to
there
like
all
put
day.
on the T-shirt and show that I was
Oh, you
a
were
fan.
there?
I was there. I
Did
mean,
you not walk away at that point?
I mean, I was
T-shirt
in the
on?
queue. I was committed. We'd been there about 6 hours waiting to get into the X
that's
Factor.
too much, man.
So we were going for it.
Yeah, and so
Wow.
they saw my T-shirt, gave me prime seat just off to the side behind
Brilliant.
the judges, and that camera kept panning round, and I was in the shot. So.
I genuinely thought that you'd made the T-shirt because you're really into like that sort of techie stuff. I thought you just put printed on the.
You'd have to
The
be a lover,
faces.
not a hater, to actually like make
Yeah,
that
I
T-shirt.
didn't. Yeah, just to I didn't go to the recording with the T-shirt. Just to clear that up, it wasn't pre-planned.
Brilliant.
It was my sneaky way in of trying to get a good seat in the recording.
Yeah.
But looking back on it now, I mean that footage is available online.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
You
not,
can check that out now. You know, Google Sam with Jedward T-shirt
Probably-
X Factor. You will find it.
probably not something
Oh,
you
who's
want to
that?
look up.
Thanks, Tish, for putting up a picture.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
look at
Jedward.
that.
That
Look
is
at that
them.
reference.
Yeah.
that is
Honestly.
definitely them.
Greatest act the X Factor's ever seen.
No, still no.
I think we should move on from this.
Okay.
I feel we should move
Yeah,
on.
we'll go down rabbit hole.
So the second wild question is the cheesy pasta thing. Like,
Always
No.
cheesy pasta.
Babe, I feel like we cook so many nice things, you know.
you said we.
Loose term, me,
Okay, cool.
my
Okay,
mum,
just-
your mum, they all cook really good stuff, and you chose cheesy pasta.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that my mum didn't try and teach me to cook. She did. I would stand in the kitchen and watch her, but
And ignore
And
her.
then eat.
Obviously.
it was going in one ear,
Sorry,
coming
Abby.
out the other, and I would nod along like I understood what I had to do. But when I was given the instruments to then do the task,
Yeah.
I didn't know what went where.
So did the Angel Delight thing happen because you forgot how to cook cheesy pasta, or is that just something else that you like?
I think it was also that like first bit of freedom. Like,
Okay.
almost like this is going to be my first meal, like
I
that.
can eat what I want.
Yeah, I can
I
eat
mean,
what I
I
want.
feel
I can eat
loosely
dessert
you can't
for
call
dinner.
that a meal.
I can eat dessert for
You
dinner.
can't call that a
my
meal.
first
but don't
night,
worry.
my first night away from home. I mean, it. You know, people probably have all sorts of stories from their first night at university. Mine was sitting on a bed eating Angel Delight. So
Let's move on.
Wow,
Yeah.
dear.
Let's move on. Okay, so like Tanya said, me and Sam have been living in Dubai for the last 6 years. We've just come back. We're super excited to be a part of Bright City Church and Unsubscribe.
yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway from living in Dubai and being a part of Gatekeepers?
Well, I mean, Dubai is such a multicultural city, and it was amazing to be part of a community in Dubai that was represented by the nations. And that's one of the things we love about Bright City,
Yeah.
is it too is very representative of the nations. There's,
Yeah.
you know, we have people here from all over the world, and that's something that we love, that we're able to get involved in a community where, you know, you're not just with, you know, someone who has the same taste as you.
That's
You know,
it, yeah.
it's nice to be in that community where, you know, everyone's so different.
Yeah.
And that's something that we love. So when we were in Dubai, we got stuck in our community, you know, with guys from
Nice.
all over the world. We
Yeah.
learnt so much from them, how to, you know, the way of doing things. And I think you touched on it earlier. Dubai obviously is a city that is, you know, is very shiny and it's very glam, and you know that side of it, obviously, that is fighting for people's attention in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
city. So to kind of stand out in the city, you know, that
Yeah.
as a church, you've got to almost be giving something on par in terms of quality. Like,
Yeah, that's
what
it.
are we giving? Because there's so many other things going on
That's it.
at a certain level that
Yeah.
are taking people's
Yeah.
attention. So
That's
Yeah.
right.
it was fantastic to be involved in a community that kind of was willing to go that kind of extra step to make sure that the experience that guests and visitors had and the representation of God in the city was of such a high standard, and that's something that we have really been able to take away, and I know that will live with me forever. So.
God in the city, back in Bright City.
Back in Bright City. Yeah.
Just like kind of touching on what you said as well, and what you said as well, Charlotte. You came up with the idea for Unsubscribed, but what does that mean to you specifically? What is Unsubscribed?
Yeah, so
Unsubscribe.
When Charlotte and I were kind of brainstorming, I think we were in the car, we were driving somewhere, and we were brainstorming ideas for maybe...
We were probably driving to Joel and Canel's house to have a meeting.
Probably the meeting to decide the name, and we were brainstorming, we were brainstorming names, and for us it just really stood out as something that is we want to try and do. I think that it's so easy now. You see something online, social media, and the first thing you do is you like it, you follow, and before you know it, your timeline is full of things you don't really want to see or need to see, and it's amazing now the number of places that you can get information from. Like you open up your phone and you're scrolling through, say, Instagram, and all of a sudden you've almost got input from like thousands of people.
Yeah.
You're taking that content from that many different people, and you're scrolling through it, and it was about actually thinking about where are we getting our kind of input from,
that's it,
and getting rid of all the rubbish and unsubscribing from all of that.
That's it.
So that's kind of what we were thinking along the lines of with the name, and it's something that I've tried to do recently on social media. Is sometimes I come off social media for a period of time, sometimes I go on a bit of a social media detox, I think that's what people call it, but just to try and get away from that noise and not feel that you need to be like scrolling through these apps endlessly, because they do hold your attention. That's what they're made to do. But before you know it, you're taking in all of this information from people. And
sometimes
you don't.
It can be so negative. Like Unsubscribe here right now is a forum where we have the opportunity to be loud and talk about the things that matter. This is like Christ loud, that sort of thing. So unsubscribe from all that jargon,
100%.
And we're here now talking about the things that matter. I love that.
So obviously, Sam, in terms of like what you think God's brought on your heart to bring to Unsubscribe, in terms of like topics or from the creative side, what does that look like to you? What's God speaking to you about at the moment?
So I think with 2020 going the way it has, I think it's almost put a magnifying glass on so many different areas that people are going through in life, whether it's mental health, whether it's, finances and jobs and all these things. And because everyone's going through this situation with, with COVID and everything, it's kind of a magnifying glass on all of these things. And Unsubscribe is really a platform where we can be honest and we can talk about some of these issues that people are going through. For some people, lockdown was a great thing. It meant time away from work, but for others, it puts a magnifying glass and strains on relationships and friendships and things like that. And so, kind of everyone's been in this weird situation that no one's ever been in before, and I think it's thrown up a lot of things that really, because of it, and there's not really been a place for people to sit and talk about these issues. And so Unsubscribe would be a fantastic place where we can actually unpack some of that thing and what people are going through. And we want this to be an interactive experience. It's not just us sitting here talking to the camera and it going out, but we'd love to know what people are thinking and feeling in the comments, and there'll be ways for people to reach out to us in the week. We'll give people information on like email address and things like that.
That's it.
But we'd love for this to be kind of an interactive thing and get people's input into what we speak on.
Exactly. So thank you for sharing your thoughts with us, with your mind as well. So Sam, you're going to be staying on here. We're going to get Joel on here in a minute, which is going to be fantastic. But kind of ironic, we're just about to plug social media after telling you about Unsubscribe and not conforming to the ways of the world. But here is our little plug.
Just in time.
We're back. That was a quick.
Yeah, it was a quick
That was a
change.
quick change. We forgot how short that video was. We all thought it was a bit longer.
But no, it wasn't. So we're all like darting in and out of this room because, you know, of the COVID rules, and we're only allowed a certain amount of people in this room at the time. So Joel's joining us, which is super exciting. So Joel, we've known you for about like 3 weeks now, maybe a month.
Yeah, probably a month tops, isn't it?
Yeah, about a month.
And it's been like so good to get to know you and Canel and what you're about and where you're standing and stuff, which is really, really cool. So it's just nice to be around like-minded people, but with like different views, but are Christ-centered, that know where they want to go in life. And I think that's what makes Unsubscribe so unique and so good.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're our Unsubscribe leader as well. You kind of head the
All
team
hail.
up.
Oh, yeah.
You head up the Unsubscribe team.
Yeah, I mean, I
so-
said this before. If you do want to learn more about the cult as the week goes, make sure you tune in and stuff. But yeah, it's a sort of the
so
behind the scenes doing bits and the video editing. And stuff
Really
like
good
that.
job with the videos.
Yeah.
All the videos you saw tonight were done by Joel, so he's doing a cracking job. Sam did the logo, and the girls are doing the social media stuff. So we've got like a whole team of really cool people that are so skilled. Shout out to Vicky and Jim as well that are behind the scenes doing an excellent job. So back to you, Joel.
100%. And quick shout out, actually, my friend Johnny. So far, all of the beats that we've been using, apart from that Instagram clip we just played, have actually been from him. So I just want to give a shout out to him because he's actually really blessed us and helped it all come together. So Johnny, thank you, my
Thanks,
friend.
Johnny.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're loved, you're welcome here. Might get you on as a guest. So in your like little video, your intro clip, you touched on a lot of things. You didn't necessarily mention about your like music and the rapping side of things. And so I just wanted to know like what your deal is with that, because you said that obviously rap has had like a major play in your life, and you're really into it.
Yeah, it's a good question. So I mean, long story short, it was always something I was really into, music. I think, I don't know why, but I was just sort of drawn to it. And I remember like at primary school sort of days, I could always write poems that could rhyme. So then I sort of, for me, I think I was just drawn to rap because it seemed like poetry just over beats.
Yeah.
When I became a Christian, I just had this assumption that, rap, it must not be a Christian thing. So I just kind of thought, right, I better just get rid of it. I stopped listening to all my rap music. I stopped trying to write rap.
That's really sad.
I just really gave it up. But it's funny because when I became a Christian, there was a lot that did change in my life. And I just suddenly didn't desire to do certain things anymore. Not through my effort, it just sort of changed. But the rap side of things, it was there. It was this passion.
Yeah.
And I remember I read the parable of the talents. So I won't go into it now, but it's basically, when I read that story, I saw myself as actually the one who spoke of badly, this person, this servant who has these gifts and just buried them.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, wow, that kind of changes things.
Yeah.
And I'll say that's actually the first like real example I can remember of God sort of speaking to me through the Bible, something unique to me. And just from then I thought, oh, maybe actually things that are sort of in this world, it's not that they're bad or that we can't be involved in it as Christians. It's just maybe the way that I've done things in the past, I was using it the wrong way. So from there, I kind of got back into the music, and I didn't go out with a mindset of let me try and do rap to be a Christian rapper, but all it is just, I thought, well, I've now changed as I am as a person. So if I'm writing something, my style of doing music is I couldn't fake a character that I'm not. And as my sort of character had changed, it kind of just was the natural transition to sort of bring God into the music.
Yeah.
And I've kind of been
Cool.
using it that way.
Yeah, that's really cool. And we've had the opportunity to kind of be around some various different like Christian artists and stuff. One of those being like LZ7 and like Lynn's from LZ7 and some of the guys from there. They use like rapping platforms to be able to really go into schools and to speak about God, to even like minister to people. And it's just such an amazing platform to be in because it's so attractive to young people, which is really awesome.
Like music just crosses any boundaries.
Exactly.
It crosses cultures. It's an incredible tool because everybody understands music.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm definitely passionate about the music topic because I think a lot of times, I think the stereotype is Christians use these things as almost like a disguise to share the gospel, but I don't think it's it's not that. It's just we are passionate about things.
Yeah.
And like you said, music is just it's an art form that it makes it more palatable for people.
Yeah.
People are more likely to be able to understand that than if you gave them a King James Version Bible
For
and
sure,
said,
yeah.
read that.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
It's like Governor B as well. I mean, he just brought out a new album. I think it was like maybe 6 months ago now, actually. But that album's really good. Obviously, like, he's a rapper and he's like more mainstream. He's been on like some like news bits and pieces. He gets invited to various different venues, but he really has a good platform to be able to speak into people's lives and minister to people. And if you can do that through rapping, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like, it's really
100%.
cool. Very cool. So Sam and I, obviously, like we said, we haven't known you for that long. We don't know necessarily what your testimony is. Some of you guys might know, but we don't. So I was going to ask Joel, what's life like before you're a Christian, after you're a Christian? Like, what was that main change that God did in your life?
Yeah, big question. Do you know what? Actually, being on this platform right now is a testament to how God changed me. It's a long story, as like everyone's testimony is really, but let's just say I was at a place in my life where I really was not happy with things, and maybe I was masking it to the world in a certain way. Maybe some people knew, but who knows? But all I knew is that deep down I couldn't deny that I wasn't too happy.
Yeah.
A few things sort of came up through one of my very close friends and through going uni and what I thought were random encounters, but I can see how it fits in now. That basically just led me to Christ, really. So sort of introduced me to things. I was always aware of Christianity, and I may have even said I was a Christian just because I believed there must be a God. But I thought Christianity was something very different. So like you follow your 10 commandments, and I respected people that did it.
Yeah.
But I thought that's quite an impossible
maybe
thing to
not
do.
for you.
Yeah, 100% not for me. And even the Christians I met at uni, nice people, but I just thought, nah, you're not living. Like when I'm like trying to go to the clubs and that, thinking I'm the guy, then you lot are kind of going to these meetings when you meet in someone's living room or something, and
things like this. No.
Yeah, so I respected it. I wasn't someone that would mock it. I just thought it's not for me.
Yeah.
And then when I really understood what Christianity was,
Yeah.
it just got me, and it changed me. And I would definitely say I went from someone that was very unsure of himself and quite maybe shy as a person to, like I say, now being able to be on a camera.
Yeah, that's amazing,
I've
isn't
done
it?
like talks, I've done youth work, like even the music, all these things.
Yeah.
And my confidence 100% is from God. I can't take any credit. I can't say, oh, I was just born this way.
Yeah.
Because if you knew how I was, maybe, like I say, I masked it well to people, but you always know how you are deep inside. And I can say, even if I disguised it, I was a very shy, insecure person. And now I'm very confident in who I am, and I can only give credit to God for that.
That's
and
amazing.
Like friends and family and people around who knew you before you were a Christian, I mean, that change for them, you know, what a testament to the power of God working in your life.
Yeah,
the fact that
massively.
they've seen like this version of you that, like you say, was shy, and then you're now like confident, you don't mind talking in front of crowds, the music.
That's
it.
What a testament to your life and your walk with Jesus.
100%. And I think it's actually a topic I'm kind of passionate about, is people's journeys within faith, because I think that, again, when you do have this kind of encounter with Christ, especially if you've not been raised from early to really know the signs and all of that, it's strange. So I remember I just sort of changed, and I didn't even know why I was changing, and I couldn't explain why I was. All I knew was that I don't want to do this anymore. I can't even tell you why.
How did your friends like take that? Because so I became a Christian when I was 17, I think it was, and I remember at the time I kind of got from some stick from friends, you know. Like previously I was going out clubbing, I had fake ID, like I had all, I know you don't believe it, but it's true. And this stuff going on, and then like I guess God changed me, like He changed you, and then my friends were a bit like, oh, what's going on with this girl? Why has she changed so much? You know, she's like way more focused. She knows what she wants in life and all those kinds of things. Was that the same for you? Or?
Yeah, similar. I mean, obviously it's not like my friends, so all of a sudden I weren't friends with them anymore. Of course not. But it definitely was strange, and particularly being when it happened for me at uni, in the uni environment. And I wasn't in that sense wild, so to speak. But let's just say I wouldn't live the way I was living now. But I think it was strange for everyone involved, because I just suddenly didn't want to do things anymore. And when people were going out to house parties, I was going off to my church that was doing like a prayer meeting. All I remember is just feeling like I whatever this is that each time I go to church, it's just I don't know, it's speaking to something deep inside of me. And again, that's where I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand the whole picture of what goes on within someone coming to faith. It's a very joyous occasion, but it's difficult, probably the same for you to navigate at first, because I remember being at church and I was like, I don't want to do the things I was doing.
Conflicted by what you're doing.
100%. I didn't understand church either. And that's actually something I really hope this program can really shed light on, is actually Christianity. We're normal people.
Exactly.
We're just influenced by Christ, because that was daunting for me. I put Christians on like this pedestal, and I was just thinking, I'm not worthy to be around them, and even strange. Like, I think maybe once we've been Christians for a while, we forget that if you're not, a lot of things we take as for granted is strange. Like going into a room and people are singing a song with words on the screen. I was thinking, like, what is this karaoke? Like, what's this? Is kind of mad.
Karaoke.
So I definitely think there's a lot that is so relevant within the faith.
That's great.
And I think it's just kind of my hope that as Christians we can really just get that across of how relevant this. It's not some 2,000 year old faith that is done and dusted and a few of us cling to it. It's so relevant for today.
That's it.
It's just about finding the truth in it.
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think it's just so awesome to think that like everyone sitting here has a different testimony of what God's been doing in their life. And you think that, you know, like when you make that decision to follow God and let him into your heart, like that's just the starting point. And yes, there's like a whole thing that happens in your heart during that process, but actually like we're all still on a walk, we're all still growing in who we are as people and who we are as followers of God. And that's why this is so exciting for Unsubscribed, because we're all at different places and people that are watching are all at different places as well. And we just want to show people, like you said, that we're just normal, fun, loving like people that are kind of going with it and going with the flow, which is really cool.
Yeah. And just wanted to ask you, really, I know you mentioned it in your video about really what this program means for you, and one thing that is like your hope for this program.
Good question. So like I said, I think my hope really is that for those that are watching that are believers, that it's an opportunity to really see sort of just real topics discussed, a bit like Jade was saying, and that it's that we're all human beings. We don't just become Christian and then all of a sudden our life's perfect. We have the same struggles, sometimes even worse and even harder because of our faith, but yet it's God that navigates us through it. And I've always found that amongst ourselves, it's through the conversation that we really get to the deepness and we really work out how to live this life.
That's it.
And I'm just hoping that this is a platform now that we can actually, instead of it just being a group of people privately sharing, we can all do it together. And with the platforms we've got, it's like you said, Sam, it's an opportunity to be interactive and really get involved. So if you can subscribe to the Instagram page or Facebook, it's not because we're just after followers or anything, it's because we want to be able to engage with everyone and for you guys to engage with us as well.
So that's it from us, guys, and we have had an amazing time speaking to you all, looking at your comments, and the team have done such a great job today. We are back next week, same time, same place. Joel is leading us next week. He's got a surprise lined up for us that we're all looking forward to, and we will see you then.
Goodbye.
Peace out.